Hey y'all. Um, I'm not going to be before you too long, but I just had to get on here and share something that I find a tad bit disturbing. I notice that people unconsciously choose to speak death just by the words they use when it comes to certain circumstances or situations or even over someone's life. And I was online earlier today, and there was this gentleman that is very influential speaking to this young lady in a video. And he proceeded to tell this woman who has a son that's athletic about a story of another young man who got set up by a young woman who lied about being violated by him, and him losing his career and being in prison, only to find out 5 years later that she falsified the information. And he went on to say to this woman that he was currently speaking to that her son was going to end up coming in contact with women that was going to tell lies and ruin his career. And the woman said, my son is not going to do that. He goes on to say, so you're telling me that your son would not come in contact with a woman that's going to ruin his career? I could hear this spirit trying to get her to come into agreement with what he was saying. Nevertheless, she goes on to say, no, he's not. She's just as calm. And I go in the comment section and read it just to see where people's heads are. And I noticed that people were bashing her. They were calling her out of her name. They were saying she was an idiot and she was a dodo and she was too confident in her reply. She wasn't haughty. She wasn't being belligerent or disrespectful. She was calmly rejecting what this man was saying about her son. And I go on to say in my comment that she did exactly what she was supposed to do. She was supposed to reject what this man was speaking over her child's life. Whether she realized it or not, she has a supernatural ability to step in and say, no, that's not going to happen to my child. So if you think about the spirit realm, what she was doing was blocking this arrow. She was blocking these words. Because not only did he say it, but because he was influential, it was so many people that joined in to back him up. But she's the mother. She was supposed to renounce every word of damnation that was spoken against her child's destiny. Because at the end of the day, it's about the destiny that the enemy is after. So he'll set up paths along your journey to try and destroy you, to keep you from reaching that destiny. I mentioned that in this comment section, and I got attacked. It didn't bother me because I stand on what I believe. And one guy said, so you're saying that her son or our kids, even though I raised my son to be upright, he still went out and found himself caught up in some BS. I'm not saying that our children are not susceptible to the demise of the enemy. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is I'm not going to shoot arrows over someone else's life and over someone else's destiny by speaking death to the circumstances or situations around them. I'm not going to do that. And I suggest that no one else does that as well, because we have the ability to shoot arrows with our words. And these words go out and do exactly what it is we command for them to do, because words are spirits and words do manifest. And adults have a tendency to speak cursings or blessings over a young generation or a young person's life, even in anger. So I just would advise to be really careful of what you allow someone else speak over your life and over your children's life, the language that they use. Really pay attention to what you speak, even when you're upset and when you're frustrated and when you're angry. In those moments, you're sending out arrows, good or bad. And to me, what I've gotten a revelation on a few years back when I had gone before God about this, he allowed me to see in the spirit that when arrows are shot, that whatever situation is taking place, that those words has a tendency to anchor that situation to the ground. And then people wonder why that spiritually or invisibly that they're having a harder fight than they initially started out with. Because the scripture does remind us that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. We can't see where these words will land. So that's why it's very important and imperative that we choose life when we speak. I'm not saying that things can't take place and things can't happen. You can say what it is. You can even see what it is. But you know what? I'm going to come right back around. I'm going to speak what it shall be. I am not going to speak a curse over my child's life or over anyone else's life. The tongue is the smallest member of the body, but it could do the most damage. Words are not just words. Words can send cursings or blessings. They are spirits, and they go out and do what it is you command for them to do. Words are waiting for you to give it an order. So those that choose to speak death, guess what? You're going to eat the fruit of that. Those who choose to speak life, guess what? You're going to reap the harvest of that. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind what you allow people to use as a nickname when they're speaking it over your child. I say all that to say, be very mindful and careful with what words you allow to be spoken over your child's life, over their destiny. Be careful what you allow someone to speak over your career, over your finances, over your home, over your family. Even if it's a joke, even if it's in anger, those words will go out and do exactly what is being commanded to do. So whether good or bad, you're going to eat that fruit or you're going to reap the harvest. You just don't know what that might manifest out to be if no one is coming back around and speaking life. There's so much more I could say about this topic, but I'm going to end it there. But remember that the tongue is the smallest member of the body, but it does the most damage. So either you can speak death or life. You choose.